Hola chicos, bienvenidos a Español con Juani. Now, when talking about things in the past, what's one of the most confusing mistakes that not only myself but many other Spanish students have made time and time again? Let me show you. Como se dice, I've lived in Australia for 9 years. Oh, that's easy. All you'd say is vivo en Australia desde 9 años. Oh wait, no, it's vivo en Australia desde hace 9 años. Or maybe it's vivo en Australia hace 9 años. So do you know what the answer is? If not, don't worry, I'm going to break down all three of these expressions for you because they can be quite confusing, and I'm also going to give you specific examples so that you can clearly identify the difference between all three, and then I'm going to ask you this question again at the end and you should know the answer to it. Now let's get into it. Vamos. Primero, desde. So desde. So think of desde as in we're emphasizing the start or the beginning of a certain event or action that took place in the past, but this action or event is still actually going on right now in the present moment. Por ejemplo, mis padres viven en Nueva Zelanda desde 2010. Mis padres viven en Nueva Zelanda desde 2010. So everyone, you'll notice with this specific example, we're really emphasizing when my parents, in this example, started living in New Zealand, which was back in 2010. So guys, one thing you'll also notice about this phrase is you'll notice I'm also using the present tense. So a little bit different. In Spanish, you can actually use this or say this in the present tense, whereas in English, you can only say it in the past. But Spanish is a little bit more flexible. But you can also say it in the past tense in Spanish as well. So if you wanted to, you could also say, mis padres han vivido en Nueva Zelanda desde 2010. Otro ejemplo, estudio español desde febrero. So estudio español desde febrero. And you can also say, he estudiado español desde febrero. So he estudiado español desde febrero. All right, I think you're starting to get it. Let's move on. Next up, desde hace. So desde hace. So very similar to desde, but think of desde hace as in we're really emphasizing the period of time that's taken place since the start of a certain action or event. So with desde, we're focusing on when that event started. With desde hace, we're focusing more on the period of time that's gone from the start of that event. And similar to desde, this event or action is still going on right now in real time. So if I give you the example that I used with my parents before with desde, we're talking about when my parents started living in New Zealand in 2010. But if we wanted to emphasize the period of time that they've actually lived in New Zealand, we could say, mis padres viven en Nueva Zelanda desde hace 13 años. So mis padres viven en Nueva Zelanda desde hace 13 años. Otro ejemplo, estoy aquí desde hace 10 horas. So estoy aquí desde hace 10 horas. You can also use these in the past as well by saying he estado aquí desde hace 10 horas. Just quickly everyone, before we move on, if you are getting any value from this video, please consider hitting that like button or subscribing if you haven't already. Y finalmente, hace. So hace. So think of hace as in we're really focusing on how long ago an event or action took place, but this particular action or event has actually now finished. Por ejemplo, mis amigos fueron a España hace 2 años. Mis amigos fueron a España hace 2 años. So again, emphasizing how long ago this certain event was, and also this particular event or action has also finished as well. Otro ejemplo, mi hijo nació en Australia hace 8 años. Mi hijo nació en Australia hace 8 años. So just remember quickly with hace always comes before the time period that we're talking about. So in English, we'd always say 8 years ago. So it'll come at the end. But in Spanish, it's the other way around. So hace always comes before that time period. Awesome. So I think you're starting to get it. Now remember that question I asked you before. ¿Cómo se dice I've lived in Australia for 9 years. So is it vivo en Australia desde 9 años? Or vivo en Australia desde hace 9 años? Or vivo en Australia hace 9 años? Por supuesto, la respuesta es vivo en Australia desde hace 9 años. Y eso es todo para hoy. So I hope that helps. As I said, this was one mistake that I kept making time and time again. So hopefully this helps you avoid making the same mistakes that I kept making. Apart from that though, if I can help with anything else, you know what to do. Leave a comment in the comment section below. But apart from that, I'll see you next time. Hasta pronto.